Hey everyone, Sal the Investor back at it again today. Time for another Monday and another crypto pick of Monday. So, what are we looking at today? We are looking at Polkadot and why I chose to invest in Polkadot and put a good amount in there. Oh, first off, take an overview. It's kind of a late Monday night. Here's everything that's going on. Looks like you got quite a bit of green going on. Love this little thing. I think it's pretty cool. It's one of my favorite Atom. We're only like 3.2%, but that's kind of my hedge bet against Polkadot. My goal is to go for speed and interoperability and connectivity, but there's also going to be some other things in there. I've been looking at Sol lately, and of course, I've been deep diving into Ave and oh my god, some others. Of course, we're going to take a look at it. So right now, Dotch here wasn't kind of the biggest gainer. It kind of fluctuates right here. Like the lowest I've seen it in a while has been. Let's take a look. Let's take a look for the month, as you can see here. But for the year, we're kind of down. But it seems to have been hovering like right around here, between look about $20 to 22. Kind of has some dip. But if you had bought it at the beginning of February, you would have made a 32% gain. So think of it this way: if you put $1,000 in, you would have made $322 off of it for 1 month, which is pretty good for putting $1,000 in. Now, all of us may not have $1,000 to or large sums of money to dump in and make more, but you got to start somewhere and start with what you got. Even if it was $100, you would have made $322. But I have a feeling this is going to be on an upward trend for a little bit. I'm not expecting much. I said I don't give these, oh, we're going to 10x and this and that. If we're lucky, this is going to get back to where it was at the all-time high of 53. Might hover around there, but it's probably going to be more like right here, $45 and everything. So let's go in and get a deep dive as to why I chose to invest it, put some money into this. So what I do like about it is it's made by a very smart guy. This is some great people working on this, and like my policy is always invest in people that are doing something that has a lot of potential and that they are smarter. If they're smarter than you, then they're probably going to come up with something greater than you can come up with. So that's why I'm looking at putting money into this. Plus, this is also kind of, I'm hedging both this and Cosmos, although they're both kind of really the same. They're competitors, but if you hedge them both, people will tend to use whichever one they prefer. And you could still make some money on all around. So it kind of makes, instead of saying, okay, I either win or I lose, if you hedge this with Cosmos, then okay, I win or I win-lose with Polkadot to Cosmos, or I win with Cosmos to Polkadot, or I lose. But I have a 75% chance of winning rather than having just a 50-50 shot of doing it what I like. What I also like is, I'm all big fan about these long papers. Like, I haven't really read into this, but this is a lot to go over. So luckily we got this one here. So, and of course I've been reading this one consistently, the introduction to it. What I like is that this is kind of bringing in that interoperability, and the best way I could describe it is, if you have an Apple products, you can now use like a random thing. Like, let's just say you have your MacBook, and you're trying to connect it to your PS4 or your PS5, right? This is essentially making it easy for those two devices to talk to each other as a bridge, and that's what's great. So, as not a lot of people know, this is going to be really good on the business side with the interoperability, because not every business uses the same platform. I can't tell you how many times you had to hire or spend significant amounts on IT to get new POS systems to work with old POS systems, company buys out another company, everything's got to be merged. It's a crazy deal. Now, if you're talking about payment systems, this makes it even easier for people to connect and pay and transfer data. And my thing is that this is going to set the stage for the medical industry, because this is going to set the stage for, yeah, why can't we use this to transfer an NFT of someone's medical history right to someone, and they can have the person can have a copy and the doctor can have a copy, and as soon as you go to another doctor's office, all you got to do is send that right over, and bam, they got all your medical history. Now, I'm a little older, so I remember when you had to call every doctor's office that you went to, get them to send a copy of your file to your new doctor. Oh, it's crazy. It was a mess. This, I think, will be the start of that, which would be cool in the fact that now you can store your medical history in your wallet, in your Nano X wallet, your ledger there. Like this, that would be amazing to have an NFT for you that contains your medical history and gets updated as you go along, or just a blockchain with it. And I don't know how they're going to do it, but I can see the potential in doing it. That's one of the main reasons why I stuck with this. I'm kind of betting on Cosmos to do that more, but I think that's going to be more for payment systems. This, I think, is going to be more for that data transfer and usage, and it's going to make it very quick and lightning fast. Now, there's a lot of great guys that already kind of did a deep dive onto this. And you can go check those videos out. I'm just going through this to show you what I liked about it, and that how I'm going to invest in this. And part of the reason is it appeals to millennials. You're doing proof of work, not proof of stake or whatever it is. So it already appeals with the energy crisis, with a lot of Gen Zers and millennials. Kind of hits that target audience. It's scalable. It can grow. It can change. It can be altered, and a lot of this can happen without interrupting you. So you're less likely to have a network crash, things like that. What I also like is, and it's more about interoperability and everything, but what I also like is that, you have the governance is a little bit easier to understand, very straightforward. But my biggest part as to why I would put money in this is this. Now, you could take my advice, you can not take my advice. I'm not a financial advisor. I am a broker. Once again, I always have to remind everybody that, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm a broker, and a broker does not have fiduciary responsibility towards your best interest. I will only sell or trade whatever you want to do, and that's how I was trained. And I only looked out for myself and for whoever I was working for. With that being said, is I can tell you what I'm looking at and what I like to invest in, but at the end of the day, always seek counsel, always seek who you want to go to, and who you think will give you the best financial advice. And one thing I do like is staking. I haven't really dug into a lot of it, but it's sitting, my stuff's sitting in my wallet. So once I find a good place to stake it, I will. I try to get the maximum amount of interest I can get, as with anything. And this is one of the reasons why I like to go into it. Two, another thing I like to go is that this is getting watched a lot. You got almost 1.4 million people watching this. What I also like is you got a very active community on it. A lot of people are talking about it. A lot of people are expecting it to go up or go down. Some people are betting against it, but to me it's a solid project. I don't think it's going to go anywhere, but I also don't think this is not something you're going to get filthy rich off of. This is something that you're going to say, okay, well, I got an extra 30-40% increase, maybe 100% increase on it, and now it's time to divest a little bit and put those profits somewhere else. And let's just see here. I'm feeling good about it, so let's see here. Yeah, as you can see here, 86% of people feel good about it. It's looking it's like long term, it's looking like it's going to be really good. So if you look here at the long year, at the overall of it, it's kind of got, see here, it's got like, it's starting to make that W pattern there. And if you overall, so if you really look at it from here, we probably got another year of slow, like of this right here, and before we start to see this, and you should probably expect to see one more dip. It's going to go up, 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 and then it's going to dip down, and then it's going to rise like this, probably towards, as we get closer towards the holidays again, as the euphoria gets crazier and crazier and crazier. Now, from my investment experience on the broker side and trading stocks for large firms and things like that, and just trading for myself, what I can also what I can say is that we don't have enough retail investment in here yet. And I think once it, right now you got about 6 million people, it's saying about total really investing in this. And that's counting institutions and everything. Once retail investment is, I'd say, about 60% of the trading volume on any crypto exchange, that's when you're going to start seeing it get a little bit more steady and get up to those volumes and those not too volatile price changes like the stock market is. And this one, it kind of stands out as like a hidden gem. I don't think a lot of new people to crypto are looking at this. And I think once they get a good 6 to 8 months in, this will become a little more on their radar and they'll start to invest. Because as you can see here, if you look, it's kind of like hovering around here, and you can't really find it in all this stuff, right? And of course, what the average retail investor goes for is like, ooh, I want to make 92%. Oh, I want to make 40%. Oh, I want to make 48%. Oh, look at this. I want to make a lot of money, so I don't want to invest in all this small stuff. I want to get in on this. I would say none of these are probably a good time to get into, but at the same time, you got ones like this one here. This is probably a good one to get into in the future right now, because you're not that far in. You're not that far into it. It still has a lot of growth into it, and you can never know. But overall, for a year, you're looking at 1.5% gain, month 18.2. So if we follow that, you're probably going to see a little bit. Let's take a look at the month. You see it's on an upward trend, but if we take a look at the year, you're kind of on this upward. So it should be somewhere like right around here. Probably around here, right here. Right here is probably where it would estimate it to be, just basing off the chart. We're not even talking about what the hell they're doing or what they are functioning as. But that's just beside the point. There's just one person I picked out. What we're trying to look for is like the stuff like, let's see here. We got to see some of this stuff. See how there's some small bowls. What you want to do is find someone that's not really like, look at here, quant. And today was up 1.2% so far. It's kind of hidden, right? So for the year, it's up 248%. If you were gotten in it there, shot up, went down. But however, this is another one gem that I am just watching and watching and watching. It's going to get up there. It's going. This is something in 5 years. You're probably going to look at it around $3,000 to $5,000 range. There's a lot of high profile investors that are getting into this, getting their name into here. So this is one I would want to look at. I would say, by the end of the summer, this might be around 250, maybe 300, but I have a feeling in 2 years you're probably looking at close to 1,000. So hey, that is a good 10x right there, maybe even a 20x over the next 5 years. But I wouldn't be holding my breath on this. This is kind of one you put money into it, you leave alone. Another one that I'm checking into is this. So just you always got to follow up on this. It's actually been pretty stable. If you look at for the month, it's up 9.1%. The year, it's down. We're coming up on that point where it's at $1.75. We'll see if it hits that target. But really, in 3 months, I'm probably expecting it's going to be in the 90s. because now two months ago it was hovering like high 60s, low 70s. Now it's hovering high 70s, low 80s. Give it another 2 months, it's going to hover high 80s, low 90s. So you can make some gains if you got a large volume of it. Then you can take some profits. But if you only got a few grand in it, like I do, don't even bother selling. Just keep buying, dollar cost average your way in. Wait till you see some nice dips and buy then. That's kind of the deal. So with that said, we're going to go back to Polkadot. I was off on a tangent. Is this a mark as a buy? And, obviously all the great things, as you can see, meets my first thing. Got the name of the person on the project. Love it. Got a detailed outline of what they're doing, where they're going, how they're doing it. So as far as my rating, I rate this as a buy, and I rate this as every time you are putting money into crypto, you should be buying yourself a little bit of Polkadot. So that's a nice quick video, nice quick shout out. But I also want to say this: if you happen to have Uphold, you got to airdrop some of these, and people are really starting to buy it. So I mean, I got airdropped it this morning. It was in the low 30s, and retrospectively, I should have bought, because if I put in 1,000, I would have made a quick $324 today. But you win some, you lose some. Take your losses with respect, and like I always say, respect the process. This is part of the process. Understanding where your losses were. I didn't have time to really take a look at this and really do a deep dive. Might do that next week, but as far as it seems good. Love the idea of tokenizing securities and NFTs, so that's where this is headed. There's probably a good buy right now. I'm telling you, probably a really, really, really good buy today. Probably a really good buy, because you look at today, this is right at the beginning of today when they sent out that airdrop, like right around here, and it just, I mean, you would have, like, trading volume skyrocketed too. So I wouldn't buy this right now, though. I would say let's see how it is in tomorrow morning. It's probably going to drop a little bit. That'd be a good time to buy, and then people will get it. As you can see, people here saying pump, 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 but we'll see. It seems like it's good. I might check into it a little later. But, as far as Polkadot, I rate it as a good, strong buy. Go get it. If it's not in your portfolio, it needs to be, and it's a good addition. I just wouldn't expect a lot out of this. And of course, always, make sure you're leveraged properly. Don't sit here and put all your eggs in one basket. Especially don't put all your money into crypto thinking you're just going to the moon it. That's not how investing works. You should make sure you have money set aside for yourself to live, and when you got some money to invest that you can risk, if it goes to zero, you're not going to cry. Put some money into this. I would say, like, if you're putting $200, put 50 into this, or 25. Buy one token every week or 2 weeks. That to me seems worth it. I mean, you got a lot of people saying it's going to 5x, but realistically, we're looking at a $50 target range at the end of the year, and that's even if it gets there. I'm really still thinking $45 on this sucker by the end of the year, maybe 100 end of next year, but that's still a long way off. We'll see what projects they complete, how they get them done. I'm liking it a lot. We're gonna follow up on this guy in 6 months. See where we're at on this sucker. But overall, say let's get this a buy. I added it to my portfolio. I brought it up to about 10% of this. Of course, brought down some others, but of course, as you know, since I added this in, my next big buy is going to be I'm putting a lot of chunk into XRP, and then of course I'm putting into Cosmos and Crow. And always, I don't really have it. Let's take a let me open up another page. Let's hear crypto.com. There we go. So as always, I would say get in on this. Get in on you want to get in on their credit card. and that's the only reason why I'm getting Crow. But it seems like this is going to be good value. It seems like this company knows what they're doing and where they're going. 100% recommend, getting start putting a little bit of Crow in there, and you don't even have to do it much. I haven't really looked at it on my phone yet, but you can do the missions and all those other little things and get gems and get the reward boxes. And the last one I got me up to 419 Crow. So you never know. You never know what's going to be in there. They say you can get up to $1,000 in there. So and since it's free, all you gotta do is log in every day, check the missions, and then log out. And make a couple purchases here and there, and earn and complete some missions. You can make some good money. With that being said, guys, always follow, always respect the process. Like and subscribe. I know this is a quick one, a little shorter than my other ones, but like and subscribe. Definitely help support the channel. I try to do this and show instead of saying what to invest in, I just will show you guys how I go about viewing this and how I generate my returns. So thank you guys, like and subscribe, and I'll check you guys later.